Well, welcome along for another episode of Flea Market HiFi. Make sure you stick around to the end when I uncover a great vintage computer hoard here in town. Starting off here at one of my normal places that I visit, really just never has anything that catches my eye that I really want to take home. I do always have to stop and look at the old cameras. I started out in photography a long time ago and really enjoy it. So it's just kind of neat to look at some of the old cameras. The pricing that they have on these, though, is a little bit ridiculous. Not really what I would consider to be flea market type stuff. I mean, they seem to be asking, like others have mentioned, that they're looking at what people are asking on eBay and not what things are actually selling for, and the stuff just sits there forever. But a lot of neat old cameras. I mean, just stuff that I remember people using back when I was a kid. Move further along, you know, kind of the normal stereo stuff that you'll see, but up here, that radio really caught my eye. I'm not really a collector of old radios, but if I was, it would be something that looks like that. I just love that old kind of Art Deco retro look that a lot of these have. And it really seems like there are a lot of old radios in this place. And that's kind of a sign of the pricing that they have on them. A little bit further down through all of the arts and crafts and junk and old people's tools and stuff, we'll see if we can find anything else that's interesting. So far, really not a whole lot that I want to take a look at. Old kitchen appliances, old nasty china, crafty stuff. But then this kind of caught my eye. I had to look at it for a second and see what it was. I'm like, huh, a universal counter. Well, that's kind of neat. Don't know what I would use it for, an old HP device. And then I looked at the top and I'm like, yeah, for 80 bucks, probably not. A little RF meter there on the side. Some MFJ stuff. Those that are into ham radio will recognize that, but not for the price that they want for it. A couple old clocks, knick-knacky stuff. This was kind of neat. It's an old Fluke digital multimeter. Now, I just love the look of that thing, but I think they wanted like $150 for it. Just way too much. Then amongst all of the junk here, an old slide viewer. I remember having one of those as a kid. Now, this was kind of neat. It's a portable phonograph, and it's actually an old mechanical, totally acoustic, 78 RPM phonograph. Kind of neat, not in the best condition. Again, a little bit overpriced. A little bit further along, this little bitty Panasonic TV caught my eye. I love the sun hood on it, the look of it, the dials. It was really nice. Old 8-track machine, a Lloyd's. That was kind of a popular brand, it looks like, here in the States back in the 70s. I almost picked up that TV, but they just wanted a little bit too much. Now, as I was walking through the next aisle, I saw this, and I'm like, surely it's not what I think it is. And sure enough, it is. It's a Playtape 1200. I'd been looking for a Playtape machine literally for years. And this one for $10, okay, I'll take it. Now, there is a video out on that, so I'll leave a link to that above. Kind of a neat old format if you haven't seen it. But, just like everything else, they've got kind of old junk set up asking premium prices for it. Now, if you remember back to the 80s and 90s, York's was a very, very cheap brand. They were bargain basement stuff. Supposed to look nice, but they were real junk, and they wanted a fortune for that one. So, on to another place that I visit quite often. We'll see if there's anything else exciting here. And first off, I see this Talking Teacher by Coleco. Not something that I had back as a kid. This is a little bit later, but I love that big sticker on the back. Electronic, do not drop. Okay, yeah, tell that to a 4-year-old, right? Well, a little further along, I see the Sony solid-state TV, little black and white CRT. And then I saw this, a GE clock radio with a cassette deck. Pretty neat, but my eyes were kind of fixed on this Sony. A little too expensive, don't need another black and white. Now, during a previous episode, I had seen this joystick sitting there, and mind you, that was 3, 4, 5 months ago. It was $1.50 then, it's $1.50 now. You know what? I'm just going to take this home with me. I think I could use that. Who remembers having one of those organs in their house as a kid? Oh, boy. But yeah, amongst all the stuff that has literally been there for ages, we'll see if we can find anything else that looks even remotely interesting. I had seen some of that stereo equipment the last time, wasn't really interested in that. But this always gets me. Old electrical stuff, wires cut, not even removed properly, thrown out on a shelf, overpriced. But then what's this? Ah, a little JVC portable TV AM FM radio. Now this is cool. And this booth had like 40% off everything. I don't remember seeing that the last time I was in. Looks like it has everything with it. I plugged it in, checked it, we're taking it home. Now this was the highlight of this episode. I happened to have a guy reach out to me locally that is a viewer of the channel, and he literally has a hoard of old classic vintage computer gear, like these IBMs here. Now that IBM model 7386, I ended up picking that up. I've been looking for one for a while. It was in great shape. It worked. So that one ended up going in my truck. And more Model M keyboards than I've ever seen in one place in my life. He probably had 50 of them if he had 2. I mean, just a bunch. So I've been wanting a Model M. I ended up picking up one of these as well. I mean, he had everything you could possibly think of between a couple of different locations. All these Model M keyboards. He had tons of retro computer gear. Everything you can think of. Apple, like this Apple II here. PS2 stuff. Servers, monitors, Tandy stuff. I mean, it was going in there. I wanted to buy everything. I just couldn't afford it. Now this was kind of neat. I almost picked this up. This is a Tandy 1000 RL. Kind of a later Tandy 1000 design. Tandy monitor. I may still go back and pick up one of those if he still has them. But literally just everything you could think of. I ended up finding my Tandy 1000 SX here in this storage unit with him and took that home. But all sorts of PS2 stuff. This Model 30 here. Thought about that one for a second. Got iMacs. I mean, just everything. A mix mash of everything you could think of computer related. But I ended up with my Tandy 1000 SX, that Model 7386, a nice Commodore 2002 monitor. I'd had one of those years ago, so pretty good haul.